If you love playing the piano but aren't sure if you can turn it into a career, stay tuned because today I'm going to give you the exact steps you need to turn your love for piano into a career as a collaborative pianist. I'm Rachel Ehring, and I help pianists turn their skills into income through accompanying. The first step to becoming a successful collaborative pianist is having a strong solo piano foundation. The better your technique and musicality are as a solo pianist, the more successful you will be as a collaborator. So if you are still taking traditional piano lessons and working on solo repertoire, keep at it. It will serve you so well to have these musical skills well in hand, pardon the pun, when you start collaborating. That being said, there are some specific skills that you can work on to set yourself apart. The first skill that every collaborative pianist has to have is good rhythm. When you are playing with another musician, or especially with a choir or ensemble, you have to keep a solid, steady beat and you can't mess up the rhythms. If you're playing with young or inexperienced musicians, it's very possible that they will mess up the rhythm or not have a steady beat. So you have to be the rhythmic rock. Now, of course, there is room for flexibility and rubato, but the first step to having effective rubato is to have a strong, steady pulse. The next musical skill that will help you as an accompanist is to develop your sight reading. I have other videos specifically about sight reading, so I'm not going to give all those tips here, but as an accompanist, there will be times when you are asked to sight read, and if you are comfortable with it, you will get more gigs and get asked back. It takes time to feel comfortable sight reading in front of people, such as in a choir rehearsal, so start doing it now so that you can get comfortable with it sooner. The next step to becoming a good accompanist is learning to listen and adapt to what you hear. I have heard pianists who are excellent solo pianists, but when they played with another musician, they were so engrossed in their own part that they didn't even realize that they were at a different place in the music than the soloist. And that is inexcusable as an accompanist. You have to always be listening and know exactly where the soloist is in the music. And guess what? Even though I just told you that you have to have good rhythm, if the soloist skips a beat or even a whole measure, then you have to skip a beat or a measure too. When I was playing a lot with young musicians, it could get really frustrating when they played a bunch of wrong rhythms. So I would make a game out of it and see if I could do such a good job of covering their mistakes that even their teacher would be left second guessing if they had made a mistake. I used to say that I often knew when my soloist was about to make a mistake before they even knew it. This means that you have to know your part so well and also know the soloist part so well that you are highly aware of everything that is happening in that moment and can adjust before anyone even realizes that a mistake was made. The fourth step to becoming a good accompanist is to start expanding your repertoire knowledge. When you start accompanying, especially if you're playing for singers, instrumentalists, choirs, maybe chamber ensembles, you will realize that there is more repertoire out there than you can possibly even learn in a lifetime, which is another reason to have good sight reading skills. But don't get overwhelmed. Just take it one song or piece at a time, and before you know it, you'll realize that songs are starting to come around that you've played before, and you're starting to recognize the common instrumental repertoire. It takes a while, but you will get to the point where you can know a lot of the standards, and then you can spend your time on the pieces that you don't know. For vocal repertoire, a great place to start is the 24 Italian songs. Almost every young singer will sing these songs, and if you're playing for high school or college singers, you will definitely come across them again and again. For instrumentalists, you can start with some of the Beethoven and Brahms sonatas for strings or some Mozart sonatas. Now that you've started developing some of these skills, what's next? How do you actually take the leap to becoming an accompanist? It's a great question, and everyone's path is different, but I think every accompanist has this in common. They said yes when an opportunity came up. They might have been asked to fill in at their church, or maybe they had a singer friend ask them to accompany them, and they said yes, even if they were scared. If people know you are a pianist, they will ask you to play for them, and your job is just to say yes. Will you feel scared? Probably. Will it be perfect the first time? Maybe not. But if you take the opportunities that come along and work your butt off to do a good job, you will get more and more opportunities. Now, there are ways to accelerate the process. If you are serious about getting accompanying gigs, I encourage you to join local Facebook groups for musician gigs. Let churches and schools know that you're available to sub. Connect with other pianists and let them know you are available to work. and even reach out to local voice and instrumental teachers and let them know that you're available. If you think about how many singers, instrumentalists, and ensembles there are that need a pianist, you'll realize that we're in a pretty good spot as pianists. Once you start accompanying, more and more work will come to you and you will gain confidence. There are a lot of things that we didn't talk about in this video today. So if you want more information on how to turn your piano skills into income, check out the link in the description for my complete system for becoming a confident collaborator. My dynamic accompanying course takes a pianist who already has the solo skills and turns them into an accompanist who can step into any collaborative setting with confidence. As always, if you like this video, be sure to subscribe so you never miss a video, and it's a free way that you can support me as a creator. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Rachel Ehring, and I'll talk with you again next time.